तपाईहरु हेर्दै हुनुहुन्छ गुड मर्निङ नेपाल।
गुड मर्निङ नेपाल।
गुड मर्निङ नेपाल। गुड मर्निङ नेपाल। बिहानीलाई जहिले पनि विशेष बनाउनको लागि हामी हजुरहरूसँग हरेक बिहानी 8 बजेदेखि 9 बजेसम्म आइतबारदेखि शुक्रबारसम्म कान्तिपुर टेलिभिजन मार्फत जोडिने गर्छौँ। म हजुरहरूकै होस्ट प्रिया सिगदेल। आज हामी साताको पहिलो दिनमा छौँ र साता एकदमै नै पोजिटिभली लिएर जानुपर्ने हुन्छ र यो सातालाई विशेष बनाउनको लागि पनि हामीसँग धेरै विषयहरू पनि हुन्छ र आजको दिनको बारेमा चर्चा गर्दाखेरि आज 2081 साल असोज 6 गते रहेको छ भने सेप्टेम्बर 22, 2024 सन्डेको दिन आइतबारको दिन रहेको छ भने आज असोज कृष्ण पञ्चमी तिथिको दिन रहेको छ। आइतबारको यो दिन बिहानी हामीले सुरु गरिराख्दाखेरि अहिलेको मौसम हेर्ने हो भने अलिकति न जाडो छ न धेरै चिसो पनि छ, अलिकति शीतल शीतल बिहानको बिहानी हुन्छ र यस बिहानीले ल्याउने बिहानीको प्रारम्भ पनि निकै नै राम्ररी हुनुपर्छ। कसरी त हुनुपर्छ भन्दाखेरि हामी अलिकति प्रोडक्टिभ हुनुपर्छ। हामीले आफ्नो स्वास्थ्यलाई त्यतिकै नै प्राथमिकता दिनुपर्छ र प्राथमिकता दिनको लागि अलिकति हाम्रो लाइफस्टाइललाई ब्यालेन्स गर्नुपर्छ। कसरी त गर्ने भनेर भन्दाखेरि राम्रो खानाहरूको क्वालिटी राम्ररी खानपिन गर्ने लगायत त्यस्तै गरेर फिजिकल एक्सर्साइजेस पनि गर्ने र आफ्नो मेन्टल हेल्थलाई प्राथमिकता दिनको लागि रेस्ट पनि गरिराख्ने। टाइममा कामहरूको एकदम प्रेसर लोड भए पनि बिचमा ब्रेक लिएर भए पनि आफ्नो स्वास्थ्यलाई प्राथमिकता दिँदै त्यसले गर्दा प्रोडक्टिभिटी र एफिसियन्सी पनि बढाउँछ। सो त्यसलाई अलिकति ध्यान दिएर पनि साताको सुरुवातदेखि नै हामीले एउटा रुटिन बनाएर फलो गऱ्यौँ भने पुरा साताको अन्त्यसम्म जाँदाखेरि पनि हामी सेम एनर्जी र सेम प्रोडक्टिभिटी पनि हामीले काममा देखाउन सक्छौँ। आफूले गरिरहने हरेक दिनभरि गर्ने या हरेक दिन गर्ने कार्यहरूमा नै हामी त्यत्तिकै नै एकदमै एनर्जेटिक पनि हुन सक्छौँ। र जब उत्साहको कुरा आउँछ, सातालाई अझै पोजिटिभ बनाउने कुरा आउँछ, दिनको कुरा आउँछ, पक्कै पनि नेपाली छोरीहरूले स्पोर्ट्समा स्पेसली खेलमा जसरी नेपालको शानमाथि लगिरहेको छन्, पक्कै पनि हामीले भन्न सक्छौँ कि नेपालको खेल क्षेत्र अहिलेको समयमा धेरैजनाको लागि उदाहरण बन्ने काम पनि भइरहेको छ। र अहिले हामीले खेलबाट सुरुवात गरिराख्दाखेरि खेलकै चर्चा गरिराख्दाखेरि अब चर्चा गरौँ खेल पनि कराटे र कराटेमा चर्चा गर्नु पनि एरिकाको बारेमा। एरिकाले फेरि पनि इतिहास बनाउँदैछन् कराटे क्षेत्रमा, किनभने एरिका गुरुङ आफू 20th एसियन सिनियर कराटे च्याम्पियनसिपको फिनालेमा पुगिसक्नु भएको छ। एरिकाले आफ्नो सिल्भर मेडल सिक्योर गरेर फिनालेमा पुग्नु भएको छ अन्डर द क्याटेगोरी अफ 68 kg स्पोर्ट्स सेन्टर जिम्नाजियममा हुँदैछ इन होङजुङ चाइना। त्यसै गरेर एसियन सिनियर कराटे च्याम्पियनसिपमा नेपालले अहिलेसम्म मेडल त जित्न सकेको थिएन, तर एरिकाले आफ्नो डिफिटेड जोसँग चाहिँ उहाँले जित्नु भएको थियो इजाबेल अरेना फिलिपिन्सको हुनुहुन्थ्यो 4-0 अन्तरालले उहाँले जितेर प्री क्वार्टर फाइनलबाट क्वार्टर फाइनल पनि पुग्न सफल हुनुभएको थियो। एरिकाको ओपोनेन्टको बारेमा कुरा गर्ने हो भने उहाँको ओपोनेन्टसँग सोफिया ब्रुत्सेभ जुन चाहिँ काजाखस्तानबाट हुनुहुन्थ्यो, उहाँको र सोफियाको बिचको एन्ड पनि ड्रबाट एन्ड भएको थियो, 1-1 बराबरको खेलबाट। त्यसैले गरेर एरिकाले लास्टमा गएर रेफ्रीको डिसिजनबाट उहाँले जित हासिल गरेर नै फर्स्ट पोइन्ट एरिकाले आफ्नो लागि कलेक्ट गर्न सक्नुभयो। त्यसै गरेर एरिकाको बारेमा अझै चर्चा गर्दाखेरि चाहिँ एरिका अब सेमी फाइनल्स खेलिसकेपछि अब फिनालेको लागि भनेपछि सन्डे आज हुँदैछ उहाँको फिनाले। उहाँले आज भियतनामको नाम थी न्युगिनसँग चाहिँ आफ्नो फिनाले आज खेल्दै हुनुहुन्छ र एरिकालाई हामीले निकै बधाई पनि दिनुपर्छ। तर एरिकाको चर्चा गर्ने नि एरिकाको यो फिफ्थ इन्टरनेसनल पार्टिसिपेसन रहेको छ र एरिकाले कुनै मेडल त जित्न सफल भइसक्नु भएको छैन। सो हामी आशा गर्न सक्छौँ कि यो फिनाले नेपालको लागि एरिकाको लागि ऐतिहासिक होस् भनेर। एरिकाको पहिलाको यात्राहरूको बारेमा चर्चा गर्ने भने एरिकाले पहिला गोल्ड 10th वर्ल्ड सितारियो कराटे च्याम्पियनसिप इन जाकार्ताबाट जित्न सफल हुनुभएको थियो। त्यसै गरेर सिल्भर 19th एसियन गेम्स गोल्ड अनि त्यसपछि गोल्ड एन्ड सिल्भर इन ओपन कराटे च्याम्पियनसिप इन टेक्सास, गोल्ड इन 8th साउथ एसियन कराटे च्याम्पियनसिप इन थिम्पू भुटान। र यो सबै चिजमा चाहिँ उहाँले कम्पिट गरिसकेपछि यो कम्पिटिसन चाहिँ लगभग 1 वर्षको अन्तरालमा भएको यो कम्पिटिसनमा एरिकाले एकदमै राम्रो पर्फर्मेन्स दिएर र उहाँको कोच पनि जो हुनुहुन्छ कुशल, उहाँले पनि उहाँको अनुसार पनि एरिकाको यो पर्फर्मेन्स निकै नै इम्पोर्टेन्ट रहेको र उहाँको खेल जसरी राम्रो भइरहेको छ त्यसले गर्दाखेरि सायद एरिका गुरुङ पनि एकदमै नजिक हुनुहुन्छ नेपालको लागि इतिहास बनाउन कराटे क्षेत्रमा। हामीले पहिला पनि चर्चा गरिरहेको छौँ कि रेस्लिङ कराटेमा नेपालले जसरी जित र अहिले संसारभरिको पनि अटेन्सन ल्याउन सकिरहेको छ त्यसमा सबसे ठुलो महत्त्वपूर्ण योगदान भनेको यी खेलाडीहरूको हुनेछन्। यी खेलाडीहरू जसले प्रयास एकदमै धेरै गरिरहेको छन्, प्र्याक्टिस त्यतिकै गरिरहेको छन्, कोचको लिडरसिप र त्यसै गरेर आफ्नो खेलको सिरियसनेस पनि फिल्डमा अहिले देखिरहेको छ। नतिजा नआएसम्म खेल क्षेत्र कता गइरहेको छ भन्ने कुरा अलिकति चर्चा गर्न गाह्रो हुन्छ, तर नतिजा जब धेरै राम्रो आउँदै जान्छ तब हाम्रो एक तरिकाको भरोसा पनि र खेलाडीहरूको प्रोत्साहन पनि अघि बढाउन पनि आवश्यक हुन्छ। खेल क्षेत्र जहाँ अझै पनि कतै न कतै सरकारको ध्यान अलिक केन्द्रित हुन सकिरहेको छैन, त्यहाँ खेलाडीहरूको मनोबल एकदमै उच्च राख्नको लागि सरकारको पनि त्यतिकै ठुलो भूमिका रहन्छ र सरकारको ठुलो भूमिकाको लागि नै हामी आशा गर्न सक्छौँ र हामी आश पनि गर्छौँ कि सरकारले खेल क्षेत्रमा त्यतिकै नै प्राथमिकता दिँदै सरकारले खेलाडीहरूको प्रोत्साहनलाई माथि लग्नको लागि, प्रोत्साहन बढाउनको लागि पनि खेल क्षेत्रमा त्यति नै इन्भेस्टमेन्ट र फाइनान्स लगाउन सक्छ, जसको कारणले गर्दाखेरि खेलाडीहरूले नतिजा मात्रै नभइकन नतिजा धेरै नै राम्रो नतिजा ल्याउने पनि चान्सेस बढ्दै जान्छ। एरिका गुरुङलाई बधाई दिँदै आजको खेलको भोलि हामी अपडेट गरिहाल्छौँ, तर पक्कै पनि एरिका गुरुङको यो लामो यात्रालाई हामीले निकै बधाई दिनुपर्छ र एरिका गुरुङको यो फिनाले आज जुन फिनाले हुँदैछ यो फिनालेको लागि विशेष शुभकामना दिँदै अब लागौँ अर्को प्रसङ्गतिर। 8 दिनसम्म चलिएको इन्द्र जात्राको कुरा गरौँ, जुन इन्द्र जात्रा सुरु पनि निकै भव्यसँग भयो र यसको अन्त्य पनि निकै भव्यसँग भयो। हामी जब हाम्रो फेस्टिभिटिजको कुरा गर्छौँ यसलाई सेलिब्रेट गर्नको लागि विभिन्न मुख्य कारण हामीहरू जोडेको हाम्रो संस्कारसँग हुन्छ र त्यसै गरेर हनुमान ढोका दरबार क्षेत्र कालभैरवको मूर्ति अगाडि लिङ्गो ठडाएसँगै सुरु भएको इन्द्र जात्रा पनि शनिबारको दिन सम्पन्न भइसकेको छ। परम्परा अनुसार शनिबार इन्द्र जात्राको अन्तिम दिन नानी चय या जुन चाहिँ महिलाहरूले रथ तान्ने दिन हुन्छ त्यो रथ तानेर नै असम्पन्न पनि भएको छ। महिलाले गणेश, भैरव र कुमारी रथ तानेर इन्द्र जात्रा पनि मनाएन्। त्यसै गरेर जात्रामा नेवारी समुदायको हेर्ने हो भने बाक्लो उपस्थिति पनि देखिएको थियो। तस्विरहरूमा नै हामी देख्न सक्छौँ एकदमै नै यो दृश्यहरू निकै नै रोमाञ्चक पनि त्यतिकै देखिएको थियो। इन्द्र जसलाई हामी वर्षा र महाकाल देवता भनेर सहकालको देवता भने मानिन्छौँ। 8 दिनसम्म विभिन्न बाजा बजाएर नाचगान रथ यात्रा गरी यो पर्व एकदमै भव्यसँग पनि मनाएको थियो। कुमारीको पूजाको समयमा कुमारीको दायाँ बायाँ जीवित गणेश र भैरव राखिन्छ र सप्ताहव्यापी रूपमा गरिने पूजा विधि फरक पनि हुने गर्छ। भाद्र शुक्ल एकादशीको दिन निमन्त्रणाको पूजा हुन्छ र यो दिन बिहान कुमारी गणेश र भैरवमा सप्ताहव्यापी कार्यक्रमको लागि सरकारले निम्ता चढाउने पनि परम्परा रहेको छ। पञ्चभूतको मूल पुरोहितहरूले बौद्ध धर्म विधि अनुसार कुमारीलाई सगुन श्रृङ्गार सामान र पोसाक चढाउने गर्छन् र जीवित देवता गणेश र भैरवले पनि यही दिन निमन्त्रणा चाहिँ चढाउने परम्परा नै रहेको छ। कुमारी घरमा जीवित देवी कुमारी बस्दै आएकी छन् भने राखिएको छ भने गणेश र भैरव चाहिँ आफ्नो घरमै बस्दै पनि आएका छन्। सप्ताहव्यापी कार्यक्रम सम्पन्न को यो दिनमा यो रथ यात्रा हो नानीचय जुन एकदमै भव्यसँग पनि सफल भइसकेको थियो। फाफर नरदेवी किलागाल भेडीसँगै इन्द्रचोक मखान हुँदै बसन्तपुर स्थित गढी बैठक अगाडि रथ विसर्जन हुने भयो र यो विसर्जन भए सँगसँगै यो दिन बसन्तपुरमा ठडाएको यङ्सी पुन ढालिन्छ र विद्युतवा रूपमा चाहिँ इन्द्र जात्रा सम्पन्न पनि हुने गर्छ र इन्द्र जात्रा सके सँगसँगै इन्द्र जात्राले ल्याएको विशेषता र अटेन्सन फेरि पनि यो वर्ष हामीले रिलिजियस टुरिज्मको पनि चर्चा धेरै गर्न सक्छौँ। हामीले नेवारी समुदायको बाक्लो उपस्थिति देखे सँगसँगै देशको विभिन्न ठाउँबाट पनि इन्द्र जात्रालाई सेलिब्रेट गर्ने को घुइँचो पनि त्यतिकै थियो भने एकदमै धेरै चाहिँ हामीले कुरा गरिराख्दाखेरि चाहिँ विदेशीहरूको लागि पनि यो इन्द्र जात्रा निकै नै भव्य पनि भएको थियो। पक्कै पनि जब हाम्रो संस्कारको कुरा आउँछ यी संस्कारलाई हामीले उत्सव गरेर जब मनाउँछौँ यो मनाउनको लागि सबैजना हामी सँगै आउँछौँ। त्यही भएर पनि हामी जहिले भन्छौँ सयौँ ठुङ्गा फुल्का हामी एउटै माला नेपाली र यी हामी सबै सम्पूर्ण नेपालीले विदेशीहरूलाई पनि एकदमै स्वागत गरेर इन्द्र जात्राको फेस्टिभिटिज मनाउन सक्यौँ। इन्द्र जात्राको दृश्यहरू जुन हामीले तस्विर मार्फत देख्यौँ यसले आफै पनि भन्छ इन्द्र जात्रा सकिसक्यो तर फेरि अर्को वर्ष इन्द्र जात्रा कति छिटो आउँछ होला किनकि इन्द्र जात्राले ल्याउने एकदम यो भव्यसँगको हाम्रो जति पनि संस्कारहरू छ हाम्रो कल्चर छ यसलाई एक तरिकाले फेरि पनि सेलिब्रेट गर्ने मौका दिन्छ र इन्द्र जात्रा सँगसँगै अब अरू हाम्रो एकदमै अरू पनि महत्त्वपूर्ण फेस्टिभल्सहरू पनि आउन बाँकी नै छ र हामी त्यसको पनि चर्चा बिस्तारै आरामले गर्दै जान्छौँ अब चर्चा गरिराख्दाखेरि देशमा भइरहेको गतिविधिहरूको चर्चा गरिसकेपछि अब लागौँ विदेशको प्रसङ्गतिर हामीलाई अझै पनि थाहा छ श्रीलङ्काको इकोनोमिक क्राइसिस श्रीलङ्काको आर्थिक अवस्था जस्तो भएको थियो स्पेशली कोभिड पेन्डेमिक पछिको अवस्था निकै कमजोर र त्यसको कारणले गर्दाखेरि विभिन्न समस्या पनि श्रीलङ्कामा देखिएको थियो श्रीलङ्कामा 2022 मा भएको एकदमै ठुलो प्रोटेस्टले त्यहाँको लिडरशिप जसको थियो ती लिडरशिपलाई हटाएर नै अब श्रीलङ्काको इकोनोमीलाई बेटर गर्नको लागि श्रीलङ्काको क्राइसिसलाई बेटर गर्नको लागि चाहिँ भनेर यो ठुलो प्रोटेस्ट पनि गरिएको थियो 2022 मा र यो प्रोटेस्ट भए सँगसँगै त्यहाँको लिडरशिप जुन थियो त्यो लिडरशिप अब हटिसकेपछि चाहिँ यो शनिबार फाइनली शनिबारमा यो ठुलो प्रोटेस्ट पछि चाहिँ फेरि पनि चुनाव भएको छ र श्रीलङ्काको चुनावले गर्दाखेरि चाहिँ अब चाहिँ श्रीलङ्कामा इकोनोमिक रिफर्म्स त्यसै गरेर चाहिँ आफ्नो देशलाई चाहिँ फेरि पनि आफ्नो फाइनेन्शियल क्राइसिस जसबाट श्रीलङ्का गयो त्यसलाई बेटर गर्नको लागि बेटर पाथमा ल्याउनको लागि पनि प्रयास गर्नको लागि श्रीलङ्काले एकदमै ठुलोसँग यो इलेक्सन कन्डक्ट गरिसकेको छ धेरैजना अझै पनि हेर्ने हो भने श्रीलङ्काको ट्याक्स हाइकको कारणले गर्दा सब्सिडिज र वेलफेयरको कारणले समस्याहरूले गर्दाखेरि अझै पनि धेरै आम नागरिकहरू त्यसको एकदम दुखाइ र पीडामा अझै पनि रहेको छन् धेरैजना एनालिस्टको अनुसार इकोनोमिक कन्सर्न जुन रहेको छ एटलिस्ट यसले गर्दा यो भोट गरिसकेपछिको केही न केही सुधार ल्याउन सकिन्छ भन्ने आशा गरेको छ किनकि नेतृत्व बिनाको देश कसरी चल्न सक्छ नेतृत्व बिना एउटा देशको आर्थिक अवस्था कस्तो छ भन्ने कुरा त्यसलाई विस्तार गर्न पके पनि सकिँदैन स्थानीय समयअनुसार 4 बजेसम्म हुने मतदान प्रारम्भिक नतिजा आइतबार बिहान आउने बताएको छ अझैसम्म नतिजाहरू आउनको लागि हामी पनि पर्खाइमा रहेको छौँ श्रीलङ्काको इतिहासकै खराब आर्थिक सङ्कटमा कारणकै सुरु भएको यो जनप्रदर्शन पछि हामीले जुन पनि भन्यो सन् 2022 को जुलाईमा राष्ट्रपति गोटियाबाट राजपक्ष देश छाडेर भाग्न बाध्य पनि भएका थिएन र उनले सिङ्गापुर पुगेर राष्ट्रपति पदबाट राजीनामा दिएका थिएन उक्त आर्थिक सङ्कटपछि राज्यले दिँदै आएको कतिपय अनुदान कटौती गरिएको थियो त्यस्तै करको दरमा वृद्धि गरिएपछि अधिकांश जनताले गुजाराको लागि सङ्घर्ष गरिरहेको बताइरहेको छन् र जसकारण देशको आर्थिक मुद्दा नै मतदाताको केन्द्रमा रहेको पनि छ इकोनोमिकल स्टेबिलिटी इज द मेजर रिजन फर श्रीलङ्काज सिटिजन to vote and to have this election. र श्रीलङ्कालाई आर्थिक सङ्कटबाट माथि उठाउने जिम्मेवारी पाएका 75 इयर्स वर्षीय राष्ट्रपति रिनल विक्रमासिङले पनि लिनुभएको छ र अर्को कार्यकालले ताकिएको छन् र यसपालि हेर्ने हो भने विभिन्न स्तरबाट धेरैजना क्यान्डिडेट्सहरू पनि रहनु भएको छ किनकि यो क्यान्डिडेट्सहरूबाट धेरैजना 3 डजन भन्दा बेसी क्यान्डिडेट्स रहेको छ भने 4 भन्दा बेसी डोमिनेटिङ लाइमलाइट पनि रहेको 4वटा चाहिँ धेरैजनाको नामहरू आइराख्दाखेरि 4वटा एकदमै डोमिनेटिङ राम रहेको छ जस्तै मैले भर्खरै नाम लिएकोमा विक्रमन सिंह त्यस्तै गरेर देशवानियक त्यस्तै गरेर हाम्रो अपोजिसनमा सजित प्रेमदासा त्यस्तै गरेर नमल राजपक्सा लगाएर चाहिँ उहाँहरू सबैजना नोमिनेट हुनुभएको छ र यसको चुनावी रिजल्ट के छ भन्ने चर्चा त हामी फेरि पनि गुड मर्निङ नेपालमा गर्छौँ तर श्रीलङ्काको अब जस्तो हामीले इकोनोमिकल क्राइसिस देख्यौँ भन्न सकिँदैन कि देशको कुनै पनि स्पेसली डेभलपिङ नेसन्सहरूमा यो समस्या आउन सक्दैन भन्ने कुनै पनि प्रकारको ग्यारेन्टी हुँदैन किनकि जुन देशमा राजनीति व्यस्त छैन अवस्थित धेरै रहन्छ त्यो देशमा अलिकति समस्याहरू धेरै नै आउँछन् किनकि त्यो देशको समस्या भनेको बेरोजगारीको कुरा त्यस्तै गरेर देशमा बस्न सक्ने प्रोत्साहन त्यस्तै गरी आएर चाहिँ विभिन्न आयामहरू हुन्छ जसलाई हामी विकासका पूर्वाधार हुन्छ त्यो यदि हामीले त्यहाँसम्म पुग्न सकेनौँ भने पक्कै पनि समस्या भनेको श्रीलङ्कामा जस्तो भयो त्यहाँसम्म पनि समस्या पुग्न सक्छ तर हामी आशा गर्छौँ कि श्रीलङ्कामा यो भएको जति पनि केही वर्ष गएका घटनाहरू छन् त्यसले गर्दाखेरि श्रीलङ्कामा जति पनि समस्याहरू आएको छन् यो इलेक्सन चाहिँ एउटा चाहिँ आशाको किरण भएर श्रीलङ्काको नागरिकहरूको लागि बनोस् भन्दै अब आज आइतबारको दिन साताको पहिलो दिन पनि रहेको छ र हाम्रो दिनलाई केले एकदमै धेरै असर गर्छ भन्दाखेरि मौसमले र आजको मौसमको अपडेट के छ त्यो पनि लिएर आजको दिनको सुरुवात गरौँ मनसुनको न्यून चापीय रेखा सर्द स्थानको दक्षिणतिर अवस्थित रहेको छ भने देशभर मनसुनी वायुको प्रभाव रहेको छ त्यस्तै गरेर हाल देशका पहाडी भूभागमा आंशिकदेखि साधारणतया बदलिरही बाँकी भूभागमा आंशिक बदलिरहेको छ कर्णाली प्रदेशको एक दुई स्थानमा मेघगर्जन चट्याङ सहित हल्का वर्षा भइरहेको छ भने दिउँसो गण्डकी कर्णाली र सुदूरपश्चिम प्रदेशको प्रदेशमा आंशिकदेखि साधारणतया बदलिरहे बाँकी प्रदेशमा आंशिक बदलीदेखि मौसम मुख्यतः सफा रहनेछ कर्णाली र सुदूरपश्चिम प्रदेशको केही तथा बाँकी प्रदेशको पहाडी भूभागमा थोरै स्थानहरूमा मेघगर्जन चट्याङ सहित हल्कादेखि मध्यम वर्षाको सम्भावना रहेको छ भने रातिको समय पनि लगभग मौसम उस्तै नै रहेको छ त्यही भएर हामी हजुरहरूलाई फेरि पनि अनुरोध गर्न चाहन्छौँ वर्षा सक्रिय छ मौसमको हामीले जब कुरा गर्दाखेरि मनसुनी न्यून चापीय एकदमै नै माथि भएको कारणले गर्दाखेरि चाहिँ आफ्नो दिनको तपाईले प्लानिङ पनि एकदमै मजाले मौसमलाई ध्यानमा राखेर यही अपडेटको हिसाबले पनि आफ्नो दिनचर्या प्लान गर्नु भन्दै अब कतैतिर गन्तव्यतिर पनि लाग्दै हुनुहुन्छ भने प्लिज हामी अनुरोध गर्न चाहन्छौँ हाइवे अपडेट्स लिएर नै निस्किनु होला फ्लाइट स्टेटस के छ चेक गरेर नै लिनु होला किनकि तपाईको समय हाम्रो लागि एकदमै मूल्यवान पनि रहेको छ त्यही भएर आज यो सातालाई एकदमै राम्ररी सुरु गर्नको लागि आइतबारलाई एकदमै प्रोडक्टिभ बनाउनु भन्दै आज गुड मर्निङ नेपालमा चर्चा गर्ने विषय पनि निकै नै महत्त्वपूर्ण छ हामी यो विषयमा चर्चा गर्छौं तर यो विषयमा चर्चा गर्नु अघि हामीले एउटा छोटो ब्रेक पनि लिनुपर्छ छोटो ब्रेक लिइसकेपछि यो विशेष चर्चा र विशेष अतिथिसँग हामी फेरि पनि उपस्थित हुन्छौं भेट्छौं हजुरलाई छोटो ब्रेकपछि ब्रेकपछि फेरि स्वागत छ गुड मर्निङ नेपालमा मैले ब्रेकबाट जानु अघि कुरा चर्चा अलिकति गरिसके हामीसँग आज एकदमै विशेष अतिथि हुनुहुन्छ पक्कै पनि जब पनि हामी देशको संसारभरिको विकासका पूर्वाधारहरूको कुरा गर्छौं भने त्यसलाई एउटा नतिजामा ल्याउनको लागि कार्य गर्ने ठाउँहरू हेर्ने हो भने विभिन्न ठाउँबाट त्यसको लागि प्रयास भइरहेको छ विकास हाम्रो लागि एउटा सरकारले मात्रै गर्ने नभइकन सबैजनाले आफ्नो ठाउँबाट गर्ने कार्यहरू पनि हुन्छ र यसरी नै आफ्नो जीवनमा 2 दशक भन्दा लामो समय विकासको विभिन्न आयामहरूमा काम गर्दै आइरहनु भएको व्यक्ति हुनुहुन्छ जो संसारको कुना-कुना पुगेर विकासका यी पूर्वाधारहरूमा काम गर्नको लागि के गर्न सकिन्छ भन्ने एकदमै उहाँले प्राथमिकता दिएर यो 2 दशक पूरा गरिसक्नु भयो 2 दशक पूरा गरिराख्दाखेरि आज उहाँ नेपाल पनि आउनु भएको छ र नेपालमा उहाँले आफ्नो विभिन्न कार्यहरू पनि लिएर आउनु भएको छ जसले गर्दाखेरि चाहिँ देशको फेरि पनि देशमा विकास ल्याउनको लागि देशमै भइरहेको कुराहरू जुन चाहिँ हामी कतै न कतै नजरअन्दाज गरिरहेको हुन्छौं याद गरिरहेको हुन्छौं त्यसमा फेरि पनि चर्चा गर्नको लागि काम गर्नको लागि पनि उहाँ आउनु भएको छ र आज हामी गुड मर्निङ नेपाल मार्फत पनि उहाँले गरिरहनु भएको काम उहाँले गरिरहनु भएको कार्य र त्यसको इम्प्याक्टको बारेमा नि चर्चा गर्छौं अब धेरै ढिला नगरिकन स्वागत गरौं कार्यक्रममा President and CEO of Heifer International, Surita Sandhusham. Hazurलाई एकदम welcome to Good Morning Nepal. I went to the floor and I welcomed you in Nepali. Namaste.
Namaste.
So you are here in Nepal. How is your experience being so far in Nepal?
It's been an incredible trip to Nepal. It's been very inspiring. I've come here with our supporters and I've been here with my colleagues in Nepal looking at our different projects in the country.
Yes, so this is your first time in Nepal?
No, actually it's my second time.
Second time,
yes.
Yeah, and what are your expectations, how we look forward for this experience in Nepal while you are here?
Well, so one of the reasons I came is we as Heifer International, which focuses on ending hunger and poverty while caring for the earth, we've been doing this for 80 years and we're celebrating our 80th anniversary. Wow. And we've been in Nepal for almost 30 years. Yes. So it's one of our longest standing programs. And we wanted to celebrate the 80th anniversary here because one of the key values that we hold is that when we give livestock and when we provide technical assistance, the idea is that the smallholder farmer, then when they get the calf or the offspring from the livestock or when they increase their yields, right, from the seeds, they give it to another member in the community so that that member can also thrive. And so this passing on the gift is something that we've come here to celebrate on our 80th anniversary. and it's been a great event.
Wow. Well, congratulations for coming in the 88th celebration of Hair International. It's really a very, very long years that it has been. So how was the experience you working in Hair International has been so far, working with them, working with the cause? It is something that you always wanted to work with, or what was it? How was your experience working with Hair has been?
So let me just say that I've been in the organization, it'll be 2 years in October. And it's been a real gift to be the CEO and president of an organization that's been around a long time, Hair International. And I would say that the work that we're doing, the mission that we're carrying out, is required for a further few decades, because we are not improving hunger and poverty. The issues of COVID, the issues of conflict, climate change, right, has really pushed us back. And if you look at the Sustainable Development Goals, which is about addressing hunger and poverty and looking at food security, we are not any closer. So one of the things about being the CEO and president right now is, how do we build partnerships with other organizations working in the same field here in Nepal? And more importantly, how do we build and strengthen our partnership with the national government that has agricultural goals, and also the local government.
Wow.
And so that's my sort of vision and strategy for the organization as we move forward.
As you just rightfully mentioned about the COVID impact, I think after COVID, the world, the way we looked at world and the world, how we should be moving with life, it really changed a lot. And because of that also, the problems that we were working on, actually I think it soared much more higher after COVID situation. So how much challenging it has been for Hair International, specifically after COVID, to work on this indicators that you just mentioned about you. There are lots of indicators to work on, but you highlight about hunger and poverty. So how challenging it has been, especially after COVID?
Well, I mean, there's the aftershocks of COVID that's been impacting all countries, including Nepal. One thing I will say, right, there is an opportunity here, because when COVID was happening, it was difficult to get food for urban areas. We work with smallholder farmer women, and they live in rural areas. And you know, one of the things that we have been talking about is, how do we see them as producers of food to allow the rest of us to eat? And that was happening during COVID. So you were getting food from the rural areas that were feeding the urban population. So now what we want to do as we're getting through COVID, and we will get through this, is really to make sure that people start to see women farmers as producers, that the value chains that we are supporting them in terms of goat rearing, vegetables, cattle rearing, dairy, how they can then get to market.
Yes.
And that's a really important piece of the puzzle of addressing COVID, you know, as we get through it.
So you are now working on the solution rather just focusing on the problems. And there are lots of problems, but it's very important to work on the solution. You just mentioned about working with the farmers. I think any country or wherever, whatever we are doing, the most important indicator is food and hunger to be eliminated is to work on our agriculture.
Correct.
To work with the farmers.
Yes.
But sometimes we neglect the fact of how we should benefit our farmers, and most of the time the nation ignores the crisis or the problems of farmers. So can you share a little more or highlight more on how you are working with the Nepalese smallholder farmers, or especially in terms of making them more productive, and also, as you mentioned about market access, how you are making those market access for them as well?
Yeah, it's a great question, Priya, and it's a complicated one. So I want to start from how we began. I think there's been a focus around women farmers particularly.
Yes.
If you think about the conditions in Nepal and the political conditions, the economic conditions, men have to go away to earn a decent living. So who's left behind? The women. So we have supported women by creating self-help groups, co-creating them with these essentially collectives where they come together, they save money, they start to see that they're able to create businesses through these value chains, and then they create co-ops. So in the time that we have been here in Nepal, we have basically reached out to 400,000 women farmers in the country in over 50 districts. And in doing that, from creating a self-help group where they feel empowered, they have agency, they understand the technical solutions regarding their business, right?
Yes.
And then we help support them through figuring out what is the market system that's required to support them to get a decent living. What happens with these women when they come together is they start to think about feeding their children nutritious food. They make sure that they have an education, and they're building out their businesses. And we have, in this trip, heard from women farmers where they've summoned home their husbands and their sons, if they're old enough, right? Come back to help them take care of their value chains and their businesses. And these women, because they have agency now, they're starting to see themselves as women leaders, and they're contesting local elections. Yes. And I've met several women deputy mayors. Yes. And it makes you, it makes you feel proud, right? That we're working with them, and it's their drive and their ambition that's making the change.
Wow. So as you again mentioned about, it's very important to work for the things that women want and how we can make them economically empowerment through, especially through farming. But while doing so, a very important two aspects also come along together. Having that, making sure there is human rights aspects and social justice as well. So your experience, because you are not only, because of your experience, MNC International, or we talk about Heartland Alliance, so how you make sure that you incorporate both human rights and social justice while you are at the work, while you are working with for Hayfair, especially for marginalized farming women, especially as you are talking about, how you make sure you incorporate these things as well?
It's a great question. So when I started out in my career, which was in human rights, we have moved a long way in terms of thinking about development. And you cannot think about international development without thinking about human rights. People's rights are, they shouldn't be discriminated on the basis of their gender, sex, thought, and basically assembly. And it's critical to look at human rights when you're looking at international development issues, like food security. And if you think about agriculture, who are the producers? They're the most marginalized. They're impacted by the political economy. They're impacted by climate change. So if we think about them as, human beings that have inherent rights, you include the value-based context in which Heifer works, and then you think about the economic growth that can come from agriculture, you've got an amazing combination that will reach the kind of impact that we at Heifer believe needs to happen. Yes. The one thing I will say is that we at Heifer don't believe we can do this alone. This is really clear.
Exactly.
The problem is huge, right? Yeah. It's huge in Nepal. We know the government wants to change it. So how do we work with the government? How do we work with civil society? How do we work with the community, most importantly? And how do we work together to actually get to the impact that we want, which is ending hunger, poverty, creating, I guess, decent incomes for our farmers to lead thriving lives. Ultimately, they're the center.
So in Nepal, when we talk about the challenges, as you just mentioned, climate change, political instabilities, and not only, I think that is a major of the developing countries' problem as well. But in Nepal, there is another problem also, is that we have very limited infrastructure as well, because of which we can't get the rightful resources, we can't get the access of market because of the infrastructures provided as well. So how in Heifer is trying to address this issue, especially focusing on sustainable solutions? Because when we talk about solutions, we need to make it very sustainable as well. So how you're planning to do so?
So it's what we've done and what we want to do more of. So when we've created these self-help groups that then have created co-ops, right? It's a way of aggregating the produce. It's a way of looking at economies of scale. So if you think about the dairy sector, we've created through infrastructure 700 collection centers. That helps the farmers basically find a place to put their milk, and then that gets to market. And I think one of the things about these collection centers that have been created through these co-ops, it's all women owned. And there's an apex body, it's the Social Enterprise Women's Alliance that has been created, all women. And they started off with 200 rupees, 5,000 rupees, and now we're talking about multi-million of rupees, right?
Exactly.
And that's the change that we have seen. And what we want to do is scale that. And we want to work with the government to say, here's a model that has worked. Why not support, how can we support you in your agricultural goals? Yes. And that's pretty much the way forward. So infrastructure is important, but it's very strategic. we're not doing everything, right?
Yes.
It's infrastructure to support the change we want to see in the dairy sector, which is a huge program right now, the Milky Way program, basically increasing productivity and improving the genetics of cows
Yes.
so that they increase milk. But making sure, right, that there's an infrastructure to support these new cows that then will, you know, be bred throughout the country.
Yes. I don't know. I really want an honest answer from this question. When we talk about your experience as in multi-sector partnership is really long. It's very, very, very important.
I've
as
learned
well.
a lot. Yes.
Yes, you have that partnership as well. But sometimes when we take international projects to any country, depending on what other problems are, acceptance from the government is something very hard also. Have you experienced that?
So when you talk about us being an international organization, we are in 19 countries.
Yes.
And in all of these countries, the people that work with us are all local.
Yes.
So I work with a local team who have relationships with the government.
Yes.
And that relationship is critical, right, to the work that
Very
we're doing.
important.
So it's not us coming from the outside.
Yes.
It's actually us working inside from the grassroots. And all of our staff are from the communities.
Yes.
At some point, they lived in these communities, they speak the language, and so there's a trust built, right,
Yes.
with the government. So from a global perspective, we are a global organization.
Nation.
What are we bringing to the table? Access to finance,
Yes.
investors, supporters, a way to communicate, right, what we're doing globally, sharing the example of what's happening in Nepal and using it in our other countries in Asia. We're in Cambodia, we're in India,
Exactly.
Bangladesh. That's critical to us. So we're always working in partnership with our local staff and always working to
So you
listen
mean
to our
that this
communities.
collaboration with Nepal and Heifer is going good? It's good with the DCA.
They're not kicking us out. We met, I mean, yesterday we had an amazing event
Yes.
in Sinduli
Yes.
with the minister, with the mayor.
Yes.
And there were 700 women present, right? And we were celebrating the passing on the gift of the calves of these Holstein cows to the families. And it was from the family who got the original Holstein cow, which was 2 years ago when I first joined.
Exactly.
And now the calves, right, to the families. And we were there with the government, and the minister of that province was saying he wants to do more with us. He wants to expand it beyond this one province, rather to all the districts. And we want to work with him. But we want to do it intentionally. The work that we do has a long-term view. You can't change this overnight, right?
Exactly. Sustainable solution doesn't come overnight. It takes long years of work as well.
Exactly. And you asked me about the multi-sectoral partnership. Yeah, it's about building trusted relationships. So you can't fix it in 6 months. You have to build these relationships. And when you build the relationships, you work through the barriers, right? The systemic issues that are causing the market systems not to work. Or, you know, the difficulty of getting transport from, you know, say you want your vegetables to be sold, right?
Yes.
But you don't have a cold storage. We have to work through those problems together. And you can only do it if you have trusted relationships with the different sectors. And what I think that Nepal has done well by, and I'm very proud of our team here, is that they work really hard to build those relationships with the community, through local government, through the province, to the national government.
That's very true.
And I think that, you know, the people of Nepal should, when they're buying food from a female farmer,
Yes.
know it's good quality, that you're actually helping her and her family to have a decent living. Their kids are going to go to school, they're going to get educated, and that's going to help the whole country eventually.
Exactly.
Right?
That is what we call about conscious consumption as well.
Yes.
So it's all about being conscious with our decision whenever we do anything in the country. And the reason I brought up this question was also to let our audience be aware that in order to develop a nation, we always need a global partnership as well, which can bring and eradicate lots of problems that are going in the country. And it is all about collaborations. And I really love the idea how you've been sharing of how Heifer is working and trying to make an impact, and it's already making an impact as well. It's very important. Your experience has been really long in this field.
Yeah, I'm old.
And sometimes, and when we continuously talk about poverty and hunger, but sometimes we don't even understand how am I going to make an impact to poverty and hunger. A very normal belief is that I am not going through any hunger crisis or poverty crisis, so why even I should talk about it, why I should be even concerned about it. It's a very normal mindset that goes through people, but we don't know how we can relate to it. We can't understand actually the meaning of it. So if we have to explain poverty and hunger in a very basic way for people, that everyone can be involved in this, everyone can work for this, despite you are not going through it, doesn't mean that you can't do anything about it. So what we can do to understand this?
I think it's about opening your eyes, listening, and opening your heart, because you can see it. You can see it when you go to work, when you go trekking, when you go through, different parts of the country. You can see poverty. We choose not to see it. Yes. So if you want to see it, you'll see it. And then you'll do something about it. And so for us, right, as an organization, we're global, but we believe in sustainable, locally led development, which means that the problems of hunger and poverty can only be solved by the people who are closest to the problem. That means the communities. And the communities are not in isolation. One of the things about working with self-help groups is you bring the women together as a community. They're stronger together as a community. Then they create businesses and they create co-ops. Then they create the apex body. And this apex body, they want to have a bank. They want to do more capacity building. So it's out there. You can see it. I think that, it's really just about opening all of your sort of senses to what is going on around you.
To be more empathetic.
Be more empathetic, but actually see and be compassionate and not be paternalistic. Yes. Because, people are in that condition for a variety of reasons, because of their ethnicity, because of their gender, because of, an accident of birth. But they all have the same aspirations that all of us do, right, that have the privilege. Yes. So how do we help each other? Because when we help each other, we're helping the whole country. Yes. When we only focus on what what we're doing, it's not going to help. Yeah. And we've got we've got 400,000 women out there who are charged and have taken agency. And if you want to know about us, come and talk to Heifer in Nepal. Yes. We'd be open to engaging with you. You can support us in the work. We want actual local philanthropists. Yes. Because it's your country, right?
Exactly.
We're global, but we are totally locally led. The global connections is to support the work that's happening here on the ground and listening to the communities.
Very true. Compassion, empathy, मात्रै पनि हामीसँग हुन सक्यो भने समस्या अरूको समाधान मात्रै हैन कि समस्याको समाधानको लागि हाम्रो पनि एउटा सानो इनिशिएटिभले पनि एकदमै ठूलो डिफरेन्स ल्याउन सकिन्छ र आज हामीले चर्चा गरिराख्ने यो विषय निकै महत्त्वपूर्ण छ यसमा अझै चर्चा गर्न बाँकी नै छ तर यो छोटो ब्रेकपछि ब्रेकपछि फेरि स्वागत छ गुड मर्निङ नेपालमा हामी आज चर्चा गरिरहेको छौं ग्लोबल नन प्रॉफिट हेफर इन्टरनेशनलको प्रेसिडेन्ट एन्ड सीईओ सँग सुरिता सुन्दर जसले हामीलाई एकदमै धेरै कुराहरू र हामीले प्रयास गर्नै सक्ने कुराहरूको बारेमा एजुकेट गर्दै हुन्छ ग्लोबल प्रोजेक्ट भने त्यसले लोकली कति इम्प्याक्ट गर्छ र देशको स्तम्भलाई अझै बलियो बनाउन कतिसम्म मद्दत गर्छ भन्ने आज चर्चा गरिरहेछौं र यही विषयमा अझै चर्चा गर्न बाँकी नै छ सो एज वी आर टकिङ अबाउट एन्ड हाइलाइटिङ द इम्पोर्टेन्स अफ हाउ इट्स भेरी इम्पोर्टेन्ट टु एम्पावर द लोकल फार्मर्स टु work with the locals, very importantly, to have a result in national level as well. Your experience and Heifer's experiences has been working a lot in the past, but so the reason we were working and making a very stronger present is to have a result in coming days as well. So you mentioned in the show as well that you are here for the project to make and you're working on few of the projects. Can you highlight about the projects that you've started right now, or there is a new project that is going on and how it is the result that is going to happen? You can highlight highlight a little bit more than on that?
Yes, I'd love to do that because we've just come from Sinduli to see the program.
Yes.
So it's called the Milky Way program, and it's part of our value system of saying that, you know, if you can support the dairy sector, here's what we're trying to do. We're trying to look at the problem of hunger and poverty through a systems approach. We're trying to transform a system. And the system here is the dairy sector, which is your second most value chain. And we have provided cows, well, the Korean government, in an effort to support Nepal, has given 101 Holstein cows to the Nepali government. And we are working with the Ministry of Agriculture and Livestock to ensure that the genetics of the cows will, you know, will improve. It will increase productivity of milk. And also then ensure, right, that gets out to the full country.
Exactly.
So we've just started. The cows were delivered almost 2 years ago, and now they're calving. And we just had a celebration where, you know, the community members who got the original cows in Sinduli then gave it on to their community.
Yes.
And what we see is there's been an increase in the milk production. Used to be like 27 liters per month. It's now 55 liters on the basis of these new cows. And when I met with the farmers who got these cows, and we've created these model farmers or model farms, you could see, right, they were thinking about how do you get Holstein cows that were bred in Korea, which are a very different climate, to here in Nepal, where it's also really different, very hot. How do they adapt? And these farmers are thinking about, you know, innovative ways, sort of these little shower things that will allow the cows to cool down, fans while they milk them, and making sure that they're eating fodder, right, that is of high protein. So they're growing the fodder for the cows. And you see such great pride in how they're taking care of the cows and also of their calves. We believe that if we stay the course, work with the local government and the community, providing the technical assistance as needed, this will then have a ripple effect through the whole country, making sure that, you know, the genetics improves and we get greater amount of milk, including developing a market system for that.
Wow. So as you mentioned about while walking in the field, are you like okay with the strategies or the policies we have in Nepal, or you feel like, according to experience, there can be better strategies as well that can come in the policies of Nepal, and it will be much more easy to work in the field, especially to the farmers? We have enough policies, or you think that we can do better on the strategies level as well?
So what I know from our technicians and our geneticists is that we can definitely improve. And what I've heard is the local government and the national government want to know how to do this. And so in providing the cows, the Korean government, through its development agency, is also providing technical assistance. I mean, Korea's, you know, is a developed country, right?
Yes.
And Nepal has that aspiration. And so because of our connections, we have an office in Heifer, Korea. Our staff are working very closely to bridge both countries, and they're learning together. This is not about blame, right? This is just recognizing this is the system we're working in. How do we make this successful? How do we support you in your aspiration, right, to transform the dairy sector?
Yes, very true.
And for Heifer, this is the way that we need to do. We want to look at the issues beyond one farm, one family. We're looking at communities across the board, and we want to do this in a way that impacts the whole country.
Yes, that's very true. You have a very extensive background in working in the global nonprofits as well. And how you feel Heifer is envisioning the development, or over the next decade, how Heifer's work is going to help Nepal to do better? So we are very focused in transforming our organization to be locally led and globally connected. We're talking about sustainable, locally led development approaches, which means it is coming from the country, it is coming from the communities in terms of what they want and how they can sustain themselves. Looking at climate issues, thinking about how we can, you know, engage youth, how we can work with the government. That's the change that we're making. So we're in partnership with, we're almost like a sidekick to
And we're supporting our staff here who are working much more closely with the communities to make sure that we are creating programs that are sustainable. The other thing is, we're taking a long view to the problem. We're not thinking about this in 1 year, 2 years, or 3 years. We're looking at this at 5 and 10 years. And we've been here for over 28 years.
Yes.
And we've done well, but if you think about all of the shocks, right? The issue around COVID and the impact of that, the conflicts, the global economy, that's set us back.
Yes.
So if we don't have a long view to the problem, and if we don't benefit from the trusted relationships that we have built, we are actually not going to reach our goals. And I do believe we're going to reach more farmers by working on the trusted relationships that we have locally.
Wow, and we wish you really, really all the best for that, and we hope that we can partner together so that we can make people much more aware about the impact that is going to create. As you rightfully mentioned, global partnership is really important, but to work locally, we also have to be more compassionate towards and have more empathetic towards the nation as well. Thank you so much for today,
Priya.
sharing your time and sharing your insightful experiences. Maybe our audience are also very much enlightened by whatever you have said. र त्यसरी नै भनिन्छ नि पक्कै पनि जीवनमा प्रयास गर्नुपर्छ र जति पनि प्रयासहरू भइरहेको छ त्यसलाई पनि हामीले चाहिँ वेलकम गर्न सक्नुपर्छ. ग्लोबल पार्टनरशिप्सहरूले नेपालमा ल्याउन सक्ने नतिजाहरू निकै राम्रो हुन सक्छ. र I would like to thank you again for joining us today, and now we'd like to take we'd like to end the show, but we'll still have our conversation going on after the camera goes after the show ends as well. So as a Good Morning Nepal मा हामीले चर्चा गरिरहेको विषय एकदमै महत्त्वपूर्ण विषय थियो जसलाई चर्चा गर्नलाई त्यसरी दसम प्रेसिडेन्ट एन्ड सिइओ अफ हेफियर इन्टरनेसनल हामीसँग आउनु भएको थियो र उहाँसँग हामी अझै धेरै चर्चा गर्छौं. तर तपाईले गुड मर्निङ नेपालको एपिसोड युट्युबमा आएपछि नि हेर्न सक्नुहुन्छ र अझै पनि ग्लोबल पार्टनरशिप्सको महत्त्वपूर्ण कति सम्बन्ध छ नेपालको लागि, स्पेशली लोकल फार्मर्सको लागि छ भन्ने कुराहरू पनि हजुरले हेर्न सक्नुहुन्छ. अब गुड मर्निङ नेपालबाट बिदा लिन समय भइसकेको छ. यस्तै रमाइलो विषयहरू लिएर हामी हजुरसँग फेरि जोडिन्छौं भोलि सोमबार. आज हामीलाई बिदा दिनुहोला. हेर्दै गर्नुहोला कान्तिपुर टेलिभिजन. धन्यवाद. नमस्ते.